All right. Hey, what's up, everybody? Let's dive in without further ado from the confirmation page over to your revenue growth workbook. I'm going to walk you through it super fast because it is super powerful and it can be very, very overwhelming. So I don't want to go too heavy or too deep. When if you're new to business, just know that you have some serious chops, some serious muscles to build in terms of growth. And if you aren't new to business, then you might be able to breeze through this with me. So the blueprint is what it is. You can pause this video, watch that, and learn a ton just by Googling these terms if you don't know them. Let's move right into this calculator. This calculator is a small version of forecasting what it is you can make. And if you know, and this is the thing, it's not enough to know the calculator. What's really important is knowing how to use it to drive success. And I'm going to break that wide open for you right now. The main reason why businesses are losing is because they're not using the scientific method to test their growth. And they're usually pumping too much money into their campaigns, or they're too scared and terrified of how many moving elements there are. So they aren't really doing anything very well. And they're not really tracking what the heck does work versus what doesn't. So for instance, check this out. If you spend $500 on this campaign formula right here, what do you earn? You don't. You lose $500, which is why most businesses shut down things like Facebook or TikTok or Instagram or anything else and say, oh, that doesn't work. Well, that's not true. This is actually a winning formula, but the variable that was needed was all you needed to do was take two more $20 deals and pump them in. If you had done that without shutting it down, you would have made a 370% return on ad spend. Now, that's not entirely accurate or true either, though, because in addition to that, if you keep spending, your cost is going to go up, but your conversions aren't. So now you're down from the 370 to the 270. This is why when people try to say, Jackson, like, what were the metrics, or, what were the results that you got? Well, I mean, everything's really dependent on everything else. So unless you have the entire full formula of what's going on, you're really just seeing a misrepresentation of data. And that's not what we're here to do. We are here to train you and help you learn. But this is like calculus. You've got to learn one step at a time, piece by piece, how to understand what it is you're trying to do in terms of winning in business. But let me give you that golden nugget that I want to highlight. When you know what your key performance indicators are, when you know which metrics you're supposed to be paying attention to, and yes, they go beyond what you see here, but these are the basics. Once you know that your cost per view is 14 cents, what you want to figure out and learn is, how do I improve that cost? And what happens if I improve that cost? For instance, what if I can trick the algorithm on Facebook and YouTube by providing a ton of value? So rather than not trick, what if I can show the algorithm how beneficial my solution is so that they will drop my cost from 14 cents down to, let's be reasonable, down to 4 cents. All right. If you're able to make that happen by showing them the value you provide is what their audience wants to see, holy heavens. Now we're looking at a fantastic return on investment, right? And if that happens, well, that's really happening because people aren't just clicking through 1.5% of the time, but you've got an offer that's saying, whoa, I want this. And you got 3 to 4% of people clicking through. Well, what happens to your return on ad spend again? You've spent $500 and now, uh-oh, whoa. You better call your bank and make sure they don't freeze your accounts, because now you're making $18,000 every time you spend 500. So this calculator, yes, this is just us playing Monopoly right now, or the game of life. Don't get too excited. You have a lot of variables to figure out. We know that, but it starts with all the principles you've been taught over and over. However, we're streamlining them into a formula and into a bridge that makes your entire strategy cohesive. What happens if you have a bridge and there's a 20-foot gap in the bridge? What happens to every car trying to cross that? They're going to fall. They're not going to make it across. They're not going to make it to your offer. So it's not as simple as doing one of these things right, or some guru telling you half the solution. You got to get your audience dialed in. You got to get the right product mapped out. And the product has to be something that incentivizes people to move forward and says, man, I want a product or a service like that promises this, that's unique in this way, that looks great, that makes me feel good when I touch it, when I feel it, or when I'm served by it, right? Then there's the offer aspect and knowing what things you need to offer to balance your brand out, not to manipulate the market, to help the market really understand what your value is. And if you pull all of those elements together, you end up with the perfect message. You can call your audience out the right way. You can mention your product and the problem that it is solving. You can show what your unique selling proposition is. You can maximize your credibility by showcasing client after client and thought leader after thought leader who uses it. You can make a simple invitation to move forward. And now you have a fantastic video ad that helps people feel great. You want to get some hooks on top of that to really leverage the market and help the market understand that this is where you want, where they want to put their attention, because you have some sincere value that you're throwing down. Enjoy this revenue growth workbook. Build it out thoroughly. It's part of the power launch process as well. So you'll just be a step ahead of the game. And I look forward to our conversation, whether it's you talking to me or you talking to one of my team members. We have a first-class team. We are trained thoroughly to help guide entrepreneurs and their team members through this process. We ask lots of great questions. We need to get to know you as best we can. And I look forward to seeing you on the call. Have a fantastic rest of your day. Bye-bye.